No one dared to stop the billionaire CEO as his shouts echoed through the marble mansion. The storm outside raged, but the storm inside those walls was far worse. A woman, 8 months pregnant, shielded her belly as the man she once loved towered over her, his rage blinding him to the life trembling in her arms. And just when it seemed no one would ever intervene, when hope was nothing more than a dying whisper, the sound of roaring engines broke through the night. That was the night everything changed. Lena had once believed in fairy tales. When she married Alexander Gray, the world's youngest self-made billionaire, the headlines called it a modern-day Cinderella story. She had met him not at a glamorous event, but at a small coffee shop where she worked part-time to support her ill mother. He had been kind then, gentle, soft-spoken, and curious about her dreams. He'd promised her a simple life filled with love. But love, as she later learned, can change when power poisons the heart. After their wedding, Alexander became the kind of man the world worshipped and feared. His name appeared on magazine covers, his companies dominated the market, and his arrogance grew faster than his fortune. Behind closed doors, his love turned cold. He controlled her every move, what she wore, who she talked to, when she could leave the house. And when she became pregnant, something inside him snapped completely. He began to see the child not as a blessing, but as a threat, a distraction that would steal attention from him. The arguments grew darker. The bruises appeared more often. And Lena, despite her pain, said nothing. Because in his world, money bought silence. His employees, guards, even family, all of them turned away. No one dared to stand against Alexander Gray. Until one rainy night, when Lena stumbled out the back door barefoot, clutching her stomach, trying to escape. She ran through the cold night, her silk nightgown soaked with rain. She could barely see through her tears, her body trembling with exhaustion. She made it as far as the old gas station down the road before collapsing beside a flickering streetlight. The attendant, a teenager with headphones in, didn't even look up. People in this town knew who the Grays were, and they knew better than to get involved. Moments later, the black limousine pulled up. Alexander stepped out, fury radiating off him like heat. His tailored suit was unbuttoned, his eyes bloodshot. "You think you can run from me?" he hissed, grabbing her by the arm. She whimpered, whispering, "Please, Alex, our baby." He didn't care. He raised his hand. And that's when it happened. The deep rumble of motorcycles filled the night. 1, then 2, then 7. Headlights cut through the rain as a line of bikers rolled into the station, their leather jackets gleaming, their faces hidden beneath helmets. Alexander froze, his hand still midair. The biggest of them, a broad man with a gray beard and a scar across his cheek, shut off his engine and stepped forward. "You got a problem here, buddy?" he said, his voice low but steady. "This is none of your business," Alexander spat, trying to regain control. "She's my wife." The biker's eyes flicked to Lena, shivering, barefoot, bleeding slightly at the lip, and then back to Alexander. "Doesn't look like she wants to be your wife right now." The other bikers fanned out, silent and solid as a wall. The gas station lights reflected off their jackets, where a patch read, "Iron Brotherhood MC." For the first time, the billionaire looked afraid. He tried to puff up his chest, threatening lawsuits, police, anything to scare them away, but these men weren't scared of him. The bearded one simply said, "You lay one more finger on her, and you'll find out what fear really feels like." Alexander backed away, hissing under his breath, then stormed off to his car. The limousine peeled away into the darkness, leaving only the rain and the bikers behind. Lena's legs gave out. The biker caught her before she hit the ground. "Easy, darlin'," he said gently. "You're safe now." Hours later, she woke up in a small biker clubhouse, warm, rustic, smelling faintly of oil and coffee. The men spoke softly around her, fixing an old jukebox and arguing about breakfast. One of them, a woman with tattoos and kind eyes named Cass, brought her soup and a clean blanket. Lena was terrified at first. But slowly, she realized, they weren't dangerous. They were protectors. The bearded man introduced himself as Mason, a former soldier and leader of the club. He explained that they were a group of veterans who looked out for people the system ignored. "You don't have to go back," he told her. "We can help you start over." But Lena hesitated. She'd grown up believing that power always won. That money could buy anyone. He'll find me, she whispered. Let him try, Mason said. He might have money, but we've got loyalty. Over the next few days, Lena began to heal. The bruises faded, and for the first time in years, she laughed. The bikers treated her like family, teaching her small things, how to fix a carburetor, how to make coffee strong enough to wake the dead. She even helped Cass set up a small donation corner in the clubhouse for women escaping abuse. But Alexander wasn't done. 1 week later, his men found her. They arrived in black SUVs, breaking down the doors of the clubhouse. Mason and his crew fought back, not with guns, but with courage. They held the line while Lena hid in the back, praying her baby would survive the chaos. When the police arrived, it was Mason's body shielding hers, his arm bloodied but his eyes fierce. You're not alone anymore, he whispered. The incident made national headlines. The world that had once praised Alexander now saw him for what he truly was. Videos surfaced, testimonies followed, and the billionaire empire began to crumble. Lena, with the help of Mason and his crew, pressed charges, and this time, people listened. Months later, Lena gave birth to a healthy baby boy. The bikers threw a small celebration in the clubhouse, complete with balloons, laughter, and cake that looked more like a tire than dessert. When the baby's tiny fingers curled around Mason's, he smiled. What are you gonna name him? Hope, Lena whispered. Because that's what you gave me when the world turned its back. Outside, the engines roared again, but this time, it wasn't for battle. It was for family. And as the sun rose over the horizon, Lena finally understood, sometimes angels don't wear wings. Sometimes, they ride motorcycles.